To manage your slide library, simply go to Manage Slide Library. In here, you can get a full overview of all the slides that's in your library or that's in the different teams library. You can, for example, filter and investigate and say, I want to look at slides that do, let's say, not have a subcategory, bring them forth, and then you can start thinking about how to categorize them and tag them. In order to add slides to the library, you simply select the team you want to add the slides to and click Add Slide. Now you can upload your presentation. First, you decide, do you want to upload a separate slides or do you want to upload the whole presentation? So you can do both. Let's do separate. Here you can add the shared categories. These are all the categories and subcategories you want to be applied to all the slides in your slide deck. So let's choose a few of them and choose subcategory. Now you can decide which of the slides from the deck that you want to upload. So you don't have to crop your presentations before uploading. You can simply do that here. And now, as you can see, it will ask you about what are unique about each individual slide. So it will start with slide 1 and you can continue throughout the deck. So let's say that for this first one, these categories are correct. Now on the next slide, let's say there's also company introduction. Okay, save and continue. And then we can just say we want to use the same settings for the rest. Back to the overview, and now the slides has been incorporated into the library. Here in the category section, you can determine which categories you want your library to consist of, and you can also change the order around so that they will not be displayed in a different order in the library. If you want to create a new category, you can do so by clicking this button, Create. Let's give it a name. Let's just call it Test. This is the test. You add an icon that you want to display this with. Then you can select subcategories that you want this category to be comprised of. If you want to create new categories, you can do that here. Test 2. Now that's highlighted. Yeah. Save. Now you have the category here. Via the Template and Colors tab, you can upload a template and basically customize the color mapping experience of the inspiration slide library to be more accurate than the default color settings. So let me show how you do that. First, upload the slides. Then you select the cover image for this template. Now that you uploaded the template, you can go to the inspiration color setting, create a new, select the template you uploaded, and you can select the slide that has the right layout. And now you can decide what color you want to map the colors from the inspiration slides from. You can select the primary color, secondary color, let's do this here, text color, background color. Now you can decide if you want to remove icons. So if you say keep icons, then the icons of the inspiration slides will be kept when you use them. So let's just delete them. You can select what font to use. So it will scan the file for the fonts, determine which one to use. Let's go with Railway. Let's give it a name. You can decide whether to make it defaulted or not. Let's just make it not defaulted. Save it. Now this one has been added. So once you go to the inspiration library here, you can now change to this color mapping here. And when you insert slides using this color mapping, this color mapping that we have created is now used. If you want to create a team, then you can do it on the Teams tab. Let's try to create a test team. Currently, the team does not have any users, but in here, you can add users. I can add a couple of people to it. I can can go back, and then I can make somebody a team manager. Let's make myself a team manager. And now when you go to the library here, you can see that I'm also on the test team, and you can start incorporating slides into the test team that's currently empty. If you go to the statistics view, you can get some insights into how users on the account have been using the software month for month, how many active users there's been, how many downloads there have been, and so forth. It can be quite helpful to get some insights. Let's take a look at the different toolkit management settings that you have available. Let's start with icons. In the icons tab, you can decide, of course, if you want to give full access to all the icons, or if you just want to allow a couple of different styles to be available. The way it works is that you select the defaulted style. That's the style that will be shown when you open the icon finder for the first time, every time you load it. And then you can select preferred styles. So these are the other open styles. So on this account, my default style is normal line icons, but I have 3 line icon styles open that I can choose from. All the other styles, more creative styles, has been closed down and not made available for people on this account. Next, let's go to illustrations. It's the same concept. Do you want to give full access or preferred access? These style names, there's quite a lot of them. All is sort of a different catalog of illustrations. So I encourage you to go through them and decide whether you want them to be available or not. Then for company icons, so this is where you can upload your own icons and make them available. So you can choose when you want to use the icons from the API or when you want to use your own icons. Here you just drop SVGs here, and then they will show down here. And in this quarter, we're gonna make more extensive categorization of these company icons available, just as we do with the own slides. Same goes for images. You enable it by clicking this button here. Simply upload the PNG files here, and then you're good to go. Lastly, in the branding tab, you have the option to upload 2 different types of icon. A squared icon, you maybe take the one from LinkedIn, or a normal dimensional icon. And then we will use them in the software to sort of co-brand the software with you, so it's clear for everybody using it that this is also your own stuff that is being displayed in here. Let's take a look at user permissions. So you simply put in their emails here to invite them, and then you select from this drop-down which type of member you want them to be. So a normal member, you can consider it as a read-only account. You can only download stuff from the library, cannot really change the settings. They are, however, able to suggest slides that they would like the manager to put into the library, and the way they do that is by using the contribute slides feature there. Then you have the manager. The manager can edit all the things that I've shown you in this video and basically determine how the software should be set up. The gatekeeper is somebody who determines what should happen with the slides that are contributed from the member. So they will get an email saying this member wants to contribute some slides. What should basically happen with them? The accountant can just go in and basically download the invoices, and that's it. If you are in the situation where you want some members of the organization to be able to use the service and others just to use the software, then you can use this library only, and these members will essentially only be able to use the library, whereas members would be able to use service and the library. Okay, so let's take a look at some security settings. So you need to make a decision on how you want to have new members joining the organization. The default will be that everybody with the same domain as you can join the account. They will still have to do a 2-way validation, so it's not like everybody can just sign up. They'll actually need to go to the email and click a link, so in that way it's secure. The other option is that you have it by request, so people with that domain can request to be invited to the organization. The third way is that you need to manually invite everybody, and you can select which members will be able to do the invitation. Then you have a setting here about who's allowed to invite others. So the default is that everybody in the organization can invite new members, but if you want to restrict it, you can say it's only managers that can invite. In the security tab here, if you scroll down, you have a setting that will determine what is the default role of people that are being invited to the organization. So you can see here, you can select all these roles that I went through and say determine what you want them to be as a default. Here in the slide management tab, you can decide who is able to suggest new slides to the organization. default is that everybody can, but you can also limit it and say that nobody can, so it's only managers or gatekeepers and so forth. They'll be able to suggest slides to put in the library. Down here in the ability to add directly, you can determine who should have the ability to add slides directly to the library. The default will just be gatekeepers, but you might want to open that up even more. Down here in the determine who takes leads on new slides, you can determine who should take lead on new slides that are being suggested from members in the organization. Is it somebody in your team that should do it, or should they be added directly to the library, or is it something that you want SlideHub to do? And then you can select who is the person specifically in the company that should be getting these requests from members to add slides.